Okay, friends, we're gonna do another Endure the King. But before we get into Ask the King, this happened on Sunday. It's during the zombie stuff, and I kind of want to go through this because this is something. All right, so let's watch this. Then we'll go right into Ask the King. All right, all right. Oh wait, window. There we go. By the way, this is Tevin uploaded this video. I'll put the link to this video in my description below if you want to see it without me or whatever. But I'm sure everyone has seen this. I shared it on my Twitter. I'm sure everyone has seen this. This is something.
I couldn't, other than the Jack in the Box thing, it just spawns random guns you can buy on the wall. Like, it didn't seem like...
And I watched the original video as well on DSP Gaming, and Chris, the Air Raid Lord, did say some snide remarks about Captain camping. Basically, he did make some remarks about that. So Kevin did not grab that, but that's kind of like not a big deal because no one really gave a shit. Chris was the only one who gave a shit about where Captain was in the game.
Well, this is a ton of fun. Watching the guy you fucking, didn't help.
Wow, I can't not kill the flamethrower guy. He will not die.
The thing is, Chris is upset that Captain did not leave his bot to help him to revive him. And to a degree, I see where that guy is coming from. Like look, I'm not gonna say that Captain, oh, Captain did nothing wrong. I wouldn't say that either, but I think at the end of the day, the way that DSP and Chris reacted to it, I thought was a little over the top. Like, we'll get more into that as this goes on.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah, that guy is ridiculously powerful, Phil. Those are the guys I was having trouble with.
I'm down. Forget it. We're done. Dude, I unloaded all my ammo from 2 guns, bought another gun off the wall, put another thing into it, and he still didn't die. Yeah, it's over now.
End our lives.
Oh, wait, is there someone who can revive them? Oh, wait, he's camping. Never mind.
Yeah, he's still in the cupboard camping, doing nothing. Wasting time, so.
Hey,
the guy is getting points. He's trying to get to the next wave. The thing that really is annoying though about the other teammates. The other thing is that yeah, one guy's camping and that could be kind of annoying because you want to stick as a team. But when I watched them play, Chris and DSP kind of went their own separate ways. They're all on their own. So if you knew one guy was camping and he was just gonna stay there, then maybe you shouldn't be splitting off. Just saying.
I'm definitely pretty safe here, so I'll end these guys.
Who fucking cares? You have teammates you need to revive who are playing the game with you. That's why I died before.
Right, but if I expose myself like you guys did, then I'll be dead.
I'm gonna eat my rice and just in peace.
Oh my god.
Alright, I'm gonna finish these guys in a few seconds.
Oh, I can't, like, the anticipation is
You're not gonna be
killing
able
me.
to. There's too many. There's fucking multiple juggernauts. There's a flamethrower guy. There's a million fucking dudes you're not gonna be able to kill.
Plus, I don't know how much money I'm gonna have when I spawn again, so I don't know. I have to buy all my shit back, get all the weapons back, the Tesla cannon. Like, there's no way.
Like, dude, after this, I'm gonna say this right now. Chris is the biggest. He's such a fucking bitch in this. And DSP is kind of a bitch on it as well. Like, he complains a lot, but dude, Chris sounds like he was about to cry during this whole thing. Like, we're just at the tip of the iceberg with Chris. I mean, it gets worse.
Yep, we're all dead now. Great. Fuck's sake.
Alright, everybody's on the stream chat's waiting for me to farm these cocksuckers. Gotta get away there.
Oh my god.
Alright, I'll hear that again.
Alright, Everybody's on the stream chat's waiting for me to farm these cocksuckers.
What?
Gotta get away there.
Oh my god.
Can you kill the motherfucking zombies? What are you doing?
I'm waiting for them to all get over here.
Oh.
Fucking bomb zombie blew up.
God. Yep, because Activision doesn't fucking find these spots, and yeah, you have to deal with this shit.
Hey, we could have been dead a lot sooner if I didn't find this shit. Or, get it.
Oh my god.
Well, I hope everyone on the stream's enjoying this. This is what you pay bits and cheers for, to watch someone sit in a fucking corner. Not
I love it. This is what you paid tips and bits for. They're not buying the fucking playthrough, Chris. They're trying to support Phil in his day-to-day, like of course everyone can argue about where the bits and the tips go, but they're not, but still, like, this playthrough wasn't like a Patreon goal, or it wasn't like a, okay, I'm gonna do this if I hit this amount of bits or whatever. It's nothing like that, so no one is really paying Phil for gameplay. They're just kind of paying him because they like him, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with, that's not the takeaway. It's just, it's insane how salty Chris is. And I'm gonna say, yeah, it's annoying when you're all dead and you're stuck watching this guy stay in one spot and just kind of farming kills. That does suck, but maybe if Chris and DSP and Kekon were better at team-based shooters, they wouldn't have died. Because DSP went on his own, Chris went on his own, and Kekon went on his own. So of course they were all gonna get fucked. Of course. They were all doing their own separate shit. And this guy was like, well, instead of doing that, I'm just gonna stay in one place where I can't get hit and just kind of kill. You can say that what Captain's doing is kind of a pussy thing to do, just kind of staying in one place and all that, but it's just how he plays the fucking game. The only time that kind of shit does not fly is in Payday. When you play Payday 2, that game kind of forces you to work as a team. If someone is off across the other side of the map doing their own thing, and they're not doing anything to help with the mission or the objective, that guy will either get kicked, or no one's gonna revive him. Because with Payday, you kind of have to stick as a team. You can't just, separate. There might be objectives where you have to split up, but ultimately you're going to be working together. Having one guy go on the other side of the map doing absolutely nothing is not gonna, that guy's gonna get kicked easily. It's different with Payday, but with this, it's not necessarily like Payday because Zombies is kind of an open co-op thing, and the Easter egg stuff, from what I understand, is kind of optional. You don't really need to do the Easter eggs. So, Captain is doing his own thing. The other guy should have been more of a team than just, relying on other people to carry them. Not
helping with the Easter egg and just channeling fucking zombies here.
Well, let's see. Zombie Dog did a $1 tip. He says, do you like the map? It's fun to watch. Well, it's interesting, but these enemies are ridiculous. I think the problem was we didn't know what we were doing, and we got to way too high of a wave in order to do the Easter egg. I mean,
right, we should have been doing some of those Easter egg steps earlier rounds. Like,
yeah,
basically insurance to make sure that we fucking get to the next level.
It's not that hard.
Like the thing is that Captain is more focused on getting to the next wave, while everyone else was like, "We gotta do the Easter eggs, dude." And as I said, the Easter egg stuff is more optional, so it just sounds like it's only there to, just for replay value.
All right, here we go.
Fuck it, I'm stopping my fucking recording. I'm just so wasted. Like, seriously, what am I fucking recording right now? It's just zombies flailing around a circle. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, Chris, fucking calm the fuck down.
I swear to God, when I spawn, I'm going in his spot, not letting him go there and letting him fucking bleed out. I swear to God.
Chris is so fucking chill. And I did, tweet at him, telling him to calm down, and he blocked me because he was like, well, you gotta look at the other perspective, okay? And I was like, dude, it's a fucking video game. You can be annoyed that Captain is there. Sure, but you don't need to be, like, fucking, like, insulting him and going out of your way to shit on the guy. I mean, the guy is just doing the objective of killing the zombies.
Alright.
Fucking guy. Good.
Oh my god.
Dude, you don't even have enough ammo to kill.
Yeah, he's not
these
gonna have
guys.
enough ammo to kill these zombies. He's not. Because there's a flamethrower zombie coming. And that one doesn't die.
Hey, look, a power up. Why don't you go get it?
Like, they're just mad
Up to the 25-bit
that
series, Captain is a general
they
asshole.
can't play. Like, that's ultimately why Chris is upset, is because he's dead. Yeah, but that's Captain's fault, right?
Oh my god.
I thought you guys be so salty just because I'm trying to fucking get to the next wave.
At this point, when we get to the next wave, everyone's gonna die, and it's gonna be you doing this bullshit again.
Is there a trophy for like waves at all? Was there ever a trophy for like getting a higher wave?
I didn't. Maybe if while you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do that while he's wasting my fucking time. I'm gonna go to the trophy. Look at this.
I mean, like, I don't know how much it matters. Hey,
Let's
guys,
see.
Like, Hikon's the only one that's kind of like,
Quest style.
it is what it is.
I'm
Like,
looking at the trophy
God.
list.
Look how fucking passive-aggressive Chris is being. I'm gonna go through the trophies because there's nothing to watch. Like, dude, this guy, if I was playing a co-op game with him and I was, doing my own thing and he kept yelling at me about this, I would have told that guy to, like, calm the fuck down. And I probably would not even give a fuck about him. Like, if he was to be revived or whatever, and then he's down, I would not save him at that point, because him crying is just fucking petty. It's fucking petty ass shit. I mean, like, you're playing a fucking video game and you're acting like, it's fucking serious business.
Right now. There's a couple hidden trophies for like Easter egg shit.
Stream chat is completely torn on this issue. Some people
It's an
are saying
issue.
Captain is the MVP of the team, and other people are saying Captain is a jerk.
Yeah, he could be an MVP in the sense that, like, he's trying to get to the next wave, which is more interesting than the fucking Easter eggs. Like, who fucking cares? No one. People like the zombie mode because they like seeing fucking waves of zombies and shit. They don't give a fuck about the Easter eggs. The Easter eggs are fine, but ultimately the stream chat would probably be more interested in seeing the next wave.
They're completely torn.
I'm the fucking MVP. Oh god.
Completely torn.
I'll be the fucking MVP. Oh god.
Chris is so mad.
Yeah, the MVP, alright.
Thank you, Boz, for a 10-bit cheer. Thank you, Covers, for a 20-bit cheer. He says, cracking open a cold one with the boys.
Yes. MVP, most voted prick. Yeah, I agree. I agree with the stream chat.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself, Ari Lloyd. What the fuck is your problem? I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just salty. I'm actually getting some points right now. I'm not dead. Like
Oh
you.
my god.
Dude, we're salty. We're in the presence of such a great point grabber over here.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, I'm actually getting some points right now. What the fuck is your problem?
I agree with the stream chat.
Yeah, you can go fuck yourself, Ari Lloyd. What the fuck is your problem? I'm not doing anything wrong.
Exactly. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just doing the fucking objective, killing fucking zombies. Who fucking cares?
Salty, I'm actually getting some points right now. I'm
He
not
is.
dead.
He is
my
salty.
God.
Dude, we're salty.
Oh yeah, yeah. What a good response to that. Oh, you're just salty. That yo man, look, I'm salty. Yeah. Okay, Chris. Good comeback. Do you pick that one up from DSP?
In the presence of such a great point grabber over here. Wow. Dude, if you knew how to play team-based games, you wouldn't be fucking doing this right now.
Alright, I'm
Right,
just gonna
yeah,
stay
I'd
over
be
here.
farming and getting a...
Kickin's like, I'm staying out of this.
I'm just gonna stay over here.
Well, the chat
I
is
didn't
being
even provoke
entertained.
anybody.
The
It was
chat is
just you
highly
at this point.
entertained.
I'm good, good. Hey, you know what? At least they get something out of it.
Like,
At
look
least
how
they get
fucking.
something.
Of course, the chat's gonna is gonna enjoy this. Two babies are crying about fucking what Captain's doing.
I don't know.
Wow.
Thank you, Eternia Forever, for the 29-bit cheer.
Hey, at least cheers are coming in. I mean,
Well, at least cheers are coming in, Phil. Yeah.
so we're getting something out of it.
Hey, Chris, are you gonna get your game back? Probably not.
I wonder if Activision's watching right now.
I hope they are.
They're not, but, you know, this is fucking broken as hell.
Yeah, you shouldn't be blaming me. You should be blaming Sledgehammer.
Remember what he just said. Blame Sledgehammer. It's a similar complaint DSP has when, you know, like back in the Dark Souls Redemption run, everyone's like, oh, you're using power stance, that's cheesing, and this and that, whatever. And he's like, don't blame me, blame From Software for having that in the game. And then listen to Chris say what he has to say, and you're gonna see something very similar to the issues that people had with DSP's Dark Souls run.
Well, obviously the glitch spot shouldn't exist, but it doesn't make sense. Like, we're all gonna die anyway. It doesn't matter.
Right. So, if we're all gonna die, why shouldn't I be here?
Because when you finish this wave, we're gonna spawn and die.
Well, I'll just give you some money.
People in the stream chat, of course, would be trolling me. They're saying that because I wasn't aiming down the sights a lot. It's because I told you guys when we started, my connection is bad to Kekken. Kekken is hosting.
Yeah, it's Kekken's fault, guys.
I'm delayed. Like, everything I'm doing
But
is
yeah,
actually...
what I think I might have missed it, but Chris said like, oh, just, you know, just because it exists doesn't mean that you should use it or whatever, and that's exactly the issue with DSP's Dark Souls Redemption run, was just because the power stance exists, and just because you found ways to make boss fights easier doesn't mean that you should be using it. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. Captain is doing the same thing DSP would do. I guarantee, if DSP was in Captain's position, DSP would find a million excuses why it's okay for him to do that.
delayed, so aiming down the sights wasn't even working. Like, I would try to do it, and I couldn't get headshots. It wouldn't qualify as headshots when I was doing it. So I was like, just gave up on doing it because it wasn't really working at all. This happened last year too.
South Texas really that bad?
Yeah, for whatever reason, like, I'm probably delayed, I'd say about 1/3 of a second. So if I try to get a headshot, it doesn't even register as a headshot.
Yeah, okay, Phil. He is the only one with the most delay.
And the other thing is, I don't know if it's the Easter egg is glitched, because like there was no orange lights on the Zeppelin every time I looked up before I died. I don't know how to progress it.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I'm shooting on that. I don't know.
That was weird.
Because on the video I looked at, you shoot the thing when it's orange, and then like enough firepower is hitting it, and then a capsule comes out.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, the video said that if you're in a co-op lobby, all players should be shooting at it so max damage is done to it. So all I'm saying.
What do the capsules look like? Did they show what the capsules look like?
It was like what we were defending earlier. It was like that little, like almost like a small little machine device.
Oh,
basically.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it actually did drop them, but we just didn't know what they were, so we didn't know where to get them.
Yeah, dude, we were more than halfway done with that Easter egg. Like...
That's a pretty long Easter egg then, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't have too many steps left, but... Because then what you have to do is you have to get zombie kills in the machines and charge them up. See, that's what I'm saying. It's almost worthless to keep playing at this point because we're too high into the round. We can't
I think we're just gonna die. Let's just die quick and we can try again. Start from the beginning. We are too high in the round. There's no way we'll do it.
Do you have control over who's the lobby leader?
Tekken.
It just says leave match.
Well, whoever's host has.
He could leave and then we could remake the lobby.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude, we're not gonna sit here. We're not gonna sit here while you do this. We're not. You're wasting our time.
Wow.
Like instead, just watch.
We told you multiple times not to do it, and you kept doing it.
Multiple times. Like I don't. You know, to be fair, I don't know if they kept telling him to do that, to not do that. But the thing is that from what it sounded like, they were like just saying, "Oh, well, in order to do this, I don't think I ever heard them ever say, Captain, don't do this. Captain, can you please stick with the team or whatever." I never heard that from them, at least from what I heard, from what I watched. Unless someone is, able to tell me any different, feel free. But they did not tell Captain to keep with the team. They just immediately was like, "Oh my god, Captain, I can't believe you're doing this. Fuck you, dude. Like, get the fuck out of here."
So, it's your own fault.
Like, he's already kicking him from the fucking party. Why? Why? Why not just tell him, "Oh, we're gonna try again, and this time, Captain, can you please stick with the team and help us with the Easter egg, and then go from there." No need to fucking do this whole thing and shit on the guy.
I'm not trying to do anything.
Seriously, dude. Like, it's a team-based game, and you're just being a dick camping in one spot.
How is he being a dick? He's just staying in one spot and getting kills. That's not being a dick. That's just getting kills.
Ruining it for everyone.
How is he ruining whatever?
And you did it anyway. You didn't help. You didn't help. You did not help.
If we tell you 100 times that it's not helping, then it's not fucking helping. Like, you don't listen is the problem. Is the microphone stuck up your ass? Like, put it on your fucking ear and listen to what we're saying. Jesus.
Jesus. You're just killing fucking zombies in a horde in a mode where you kill zombies. Captain, how could you do that? Fucking get a life, guys. Says the guy who does TSP videos.
Well, it was a fun map.
Alright, Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to remake the party, and I'm not going to reinvite Captain, because he did not want to play as a team. He wanted to just fucking camp and not make it fun, and that's not what Zombies is about. Zombies is about playing as a team. So, oh well.
He sounds like a fucking, parent talking to his kids. "See, kids, Billy, he wanted to do drugs, and, the point of living is to live without doing drugs. But Billy didn't learn that lesson." Get your head out of your ass. The guy just wanted to get kills in a zombie mode. If you didn't like it, okay, fine. Restart the game and then tell Captain, don't do this again. Please stick with the team and all that. I don't recall ever hearing Phil ever telling that to Captain during that playthrough. All it was Chris crying about Captain being in a spot to get kills, and then DSP just starts putting words in his mouth by he's doing it just to get points.
Well, he had his chance and he didn't want to listen, so now I'm gonna make a new party, and
you didn't want to
Captain's
listen.
not gonna be in it. Too bad.
So I left that
What? I left that the.
I'm remaking a party. I'm making a new party.
What is that?
Unbelievable. Ridiculous, man. You can't play like that. It's a team-based game, and if your team is telling you, "Here's how you do something, let's do the Easter egg," and you just sit in one spot and camp, you're not playing.
Saying this is how you do the Easter egg is not the same as saying, "Hey, Captain, go over here. We need you here." Saying, "Okay, we need to do this Easter egg. We need to do this, and that." This describing the requirements of the Easter egg is nothing. It's really nothing. It's kind of dumb, honestly, to fucking expect that. All you're doing is seriously just fucking killing zombies.
To play and have fun for the team, you're playing for yourself, and that's all it was. He basically wanted to get a high score and act like he had a big dick or whatever, and that's not right. That's not.
How do you know that was what he was trying to do? He said he wants to get to the next wave. He'll revive everyone. He'll give people money. Okay, Phil.
It's seriously not right.
It's not right. It's fucked up, man. On his phone again. DSP is on his phone again.
That's just messed up. Alright, well, sadly that's what happens when you can't get the... I really wanted Coruchado to join this time, but he was not available at all. So that's what happens when you have, you know, people come in, you don't know if you can trust them or not.
You played games with Captain before. How do you not trust him? Okay.
So,
Oh, and by the way, remember guys, this is all made up. According to DSP, detractors fabricated what happened between him and Captain. So this is all made up, guys. Just remember that. Detractor technology, hater technology has advanced so much that we're able to have a DSP drone machine kind of talk like him. We're able to replicate his stream chat, his stream, everything. We're able to replicate all of that. Don't question it. Detractor technology has really evolved over the years, guys.
I feel kind of bad, but you know.
yeah, well, hey, dude, you didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, K-Con's like, oh man, I feel bad. Then these people think, hey, you didn't do anything wrong. They're acting like as if it was like some big traumatic experience. The guy just getting killed. So like, you didn't do anything wrong, K-Con. Just keep that in mind, you fucking slave.
It was just us trying to play, you know, and this guy wants to fucking bogard the stream and shit.
How? How was he bogarting the stream? You fucking
That's all it
died.
was. He was trying to basically try to get attention. He was trying to, oh, look at my score. Who cares? Dude, you got 1,000,000 fucking points and you don't
How was he doing that? Just by doing what the fucking mode is? Killing zombies? Yeah, I get.
even do anything to help. Like, what's the point of playing then?
He was trying to help. He thought that if he killed all the zombies and got to the next wave, that'd be helping. He didn't give a fuck about the Easter eggs, obviously.
Yeah, to a point, I agree. It's like,
It's a team-based game. You have to work with the team. You can't just fucking, you know, act like that.
Holy
you know?
fuck.
Like, I understand that, you know, I could see the frustration that they had towards Captain. I get that. I get that, but the thing is that, you know, I wouldn't, like, rate, like, if it was a friend of mine and I didn't like what my friend was doing in a match, I would probably just try to finish the mode as, you know, whatever, and then tell the guy, hey, you know, I really want to do this Easter egg. I know you're trying to help and this and that, but I've never seen them do that. I just see them keep trying to insult and belittle Captain, which, like, why?
Yeah. Well, he's not coming back in. Forget that guy.
Jesus, man. You see, that was the problem the whole time. I'm trying to look up the zombies, like all of the steps for the Easter egg, do the steps by myself, trying to figure out, and you know, like he was in that corner, and that was why it was so hard to get all that coordinated. Jesus.
okay.
It's all good.
Yeah,
Listen,
well,
the way
Yeah, jeez, calm the fuck down, Chris. It's just
I
an
see
Easter
it,
egg.
we were gonna lose anyway. There was no way at that point. We were so far in the waves. There was no way that we were gonna do the Easter egg at that point. So, it's good to just start it over now. I'll see if we can get somebody else. I don't know. So Vaughn was gonna be our alternate, but I'm assuming he's probably not around anymore because we've been playing, you know, for hours.
yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, honestly, I need to have dinner soon, so I don't know. I mean,
We do one more.
if you want to get
He
someone
needs-
else in,
You sure you don't want to do one
Yeah,
more
you
quick
want-
run?
I think we could do it quick, like we know what to do now.
Yeah, now that we know what we're doing, it should be a little quicker.
yeah, I guess we can. Yeah, I'm
Do one
getting
more.
really hungry.
We'll just do one more quick. We'll do it as quick as we can.
Oh, but if it was DSP, if someone's like, DSP, come on, you go a little longer. I can't go a little longer, dude. I need my din, okay? Oh, Chris, you want... Oh, I want to eat dinner, Phil. No, come on, man. You gotta play zombies with us, dude. It's real business.
All right.
It's just, I mean, we were playing for.
Yeah, 2 hours straight.
All right. So here we are.
All right, ready up.
Yep.
I'm gonna go back to support. That's a good ability.
So are we just doing this 3-person?
I guess so. It's gonna be too late to try to get someone else in here now. We'll try it 3 person. It should be a little easier, right? There's less zombies.
That is true, actually.
Does
Yeah.
the difficulty scale? Is that a thing?
The less people, it's just like Treyarch zombies. Like the less people you have, the less zombies.
Okay, there's nothing else going on, I don't think, in this video. Not really. Fuck it. We'll go into Endure the King now, dude. Okay, we're doing Endure the King. Alright, so the question here is, what makes a good fighting game? in my opinion, what makes a good fighting game is its style, and just kind of the moves. Like, if the moves feel good, I think that's what makes a good fighting game. Like, I like the art style of Skullgirls, obviously. I'm a huge Skullgirls fan. So, there you go. I have a bias towards that. I like BlazBlue as well. And it needs a good character roster. I think that's also what matters. If your roster is kind of shitty, then it's not gonna, do wonders. Like, I like Street Fighter V's roster. I liked the characters, but at the same time, I do see why people did not like it. It obviously was not as much as Street Fighter 4, or at least Super Street Fighter 4. Didn't have that many characters, but I think in 5, I liked kind of the characters I saw because I like Karen. I liked her in Alpha 3, so I was curious to see how they would make her in Street Fighter 5. I liked Armika too, and I was curious about Rashid. So there's all these characters that I liked in 5 that I was more interested in playing. So I think it's really a matter of getting the characters, getting the right variety, and trying to do a lot of like unique moves as well. Like the thing is that Skullgirls, the reason why I like Skullgirls a lot is, aside from the art style, I like these kind of the subtle details that the game has. Like, one of Valentine's assists is to revive a fallen partner. So if you have Valentine on your team and, a character dies in your team, like let's say you have Filia and Valentine. Filia dies. You can use Valentine to restore Filia back to life. I like that because it's very, it's very hard to pull off, I feel like, and not a lot of people know it. Same with Beowulf. Beowulf, you can charge up his moves, and they kind of become much more powerful. So I really like these subtle differences with Skullgirls, that it feels like it's more kind of a balanced game. And I think that's what is also important for our fighting games, that they need to it needs to be balanced. Street Fighter 5 in some ways is not balanced. Like, Balrog is kind of a very strong fucking character in ways that make sense because he's a charge character, so it kind of makes up for the instance that you lose with it. Like, with other characters, you can just do a move immediately. With Balrog, you have to kind of charge. But at the same time, I feel like he's a little too powerful. But, it is what it is.
Okay.
And good hitboxes.
Let's continue on. Kill-chan asks the following question. Phil, what makes a fighting game bad compared to a good one? I get the general idea of what you can expect.
He did not write that in the question. Wow, dude. Okay, what makes a fighting game bad is just... Street Fighter 5 is kind of like that. It's kind of a bad game, but I feel like Injustice 2 is worse. I liked Injustice 2 for a few months, but I kind of dropped it because the maps are too big. I didn't really notice it at first when I first played the game, but now that I played more of it, the maps are way too big, so half the time when you're fighting, you have to, like, kind of chase the opponent around the map, and it's really fucking annoying. Because if you're a character that doesn't have any projectiles, and someone has projectiles, that character's already at a disadvantage, because the guy can just run to the other side of the map, and you have to work so hard to get to the other to close that gap. And some of the characters, they have a harder time than others. And I fucking hate that. I think the map size in Injustice 2 is the worst. Street Fighter 5, Skullgirls, BlazBlue, and Guilty Gear have the best size for maps. They're not too big, they're not too small. They're enough to kind of encourage intense fighting. While in Injustice 2, you're just kind of stuck with trying to close the gap, and I really can't fucking stand that.
Expect from a fighting game compared to how some of your matches turned out during your coverage of Dragon Ball FighterZ and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but since I'm a total noob in fighting games, I'm assuming it's not just a matter of dumbed-down mechanics designed to cater to a less hardcore audience. I'd like to hear your extensive thoughts on the subject. Listen, the truth of the matter is, it's not even an extensive subject. Fighting games at their core, have to have some kind of a competitive feature that, or gameplay mechanic that requires skill. All right.
Skill.
So
okay.
Let me give you an example. Street Fighter 2, or let's say Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the final version of the game.
The version he loves.
Requires a lot of skill. Why? Because there's nothing really in the game that's easy to abuse or spammable per se.
Zoning shit is spam. he does nothing but yoga fire when he's Dhalsim. When he's E Honda, he does butt slam all the time. He loves that fucking move. Like, he spams and exploits so much fucking garbage. But, oh no, it's not spam, guys.
To get easy victories, unless you're talking about the overpowered and tournament banned character Akuma, who literally could just jump and throw an air fireball and he locks down the entirety of the cast. All right, every character in the game has a variety of different styles of attack style. Some are more ranged, throwing projectiles. Some are more movement-based, like the speed of Vega. Some are grappling-based, like Zangief. And all of them play differently, all right? Of course, there are some similarities with zoning characters and the like. Ryu and Ken have a lot of similarities because they're almost the same sprite.
They're clone characters.
Every character also is pretty unique. Now, an element of a fighting game is difficulty level to learn the game and to learn it at a high level, all right? For example, Street Fighter 2 takes a long time because, first of all, there's a good... originally, there were only 8. Then they added 4 more, so there were 12 characters. And then with the final version, there were 16. So a wide variety of 16 characters, all of which almost play differently, makes already there's a learning curve. You've got to learn the abilities of every single character in the game, okay?
Okay.
Now, in addition to just the sheer amount of things you need to learn in order to get good at a fighting game, there's also an element, like I said, of skill involved with risk-reward. So what I mean by that is to play the game, you have to learn what is worth doing and what's not. What is an easy way to win? What's a way to win with that maybe a little bit more not as guaranteed, right? And ultimately, there's going to be tiers in the game. What we found over the years of fighting games is that top tiers typically is a combination of maybe a character who has a really overpowered move that does tons of damage, and therefore they're up there, but then there's a character up there that really is tough to play. They don't do a lot of damage, but if you play perfectly reactionary gameplay and tricks and patterns, you can actually lock down the opponents, and that might be a top tier character in the game.
Tricks and patterns.
Right? All this comes into a factor when you're judging if a game is good or not. But ultimately for me, the defining moment of if a fighting game is good or not is if in the meta game, the large scale of the game, all right, is there variety in gameplay, and is it difficult to be a good player at that game? Because if the game is easy to play and everyone can learn the top level stuff within a day, and everyone's doing the same abusable stuff within a day, and that's the entirety of the game, you failed. Because you've made a game that's overly simple for simpletons, and a competition doesn't mean anything. It just means who did a game that's always doing the same abuse. If the game is easy to play and everyone can learn the top level stuff within a day, and everyone's doing the same abusable stuff within a day, and that's the entirety of the game, you failed. Because you've made a game that's overly simple for simpletons, and a competition doesn't mean anything. It just means who did the abusable thing better or timed better. It's not about actually learning fundamentals of fighting games or learning, a way to properly...
But you can argue that in order to do these abusable tactics in like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they would have to understand the fundamentals of that game. You could make the case about that, because I'm sure there's a lot of fundamentals within that game that you kind of have to understand just to play that game.
Play a game and have a top tier strategy or anything like that. And that's the problem with a game like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. You look at a game like Super Turbo, right? Every time you watch the game, it's different because every character plays differently.
Every time I see him play Ultra Street Fighter 2, it looks the same to me. So I don't know what he's talking about here.
You know what I mean? There's wide variety, everything. Then you watch a match of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. It doesn't matter who you're watching play. The entire match is always the same. 2 characters floating around trying to get one random kit in with a mix-up, either high or low or across.
All fighting games it can be dumbed down like that, because when you look at Street Fighter 2 or you look at Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 4, any fighting game actually, all you're trying to do is to land hits. There's no algorithm to hitting. There's only it only comes into play when it comes to frame data. When you're trying to look at okay, well, if I do an Hadouken, it has this many startup frames and this many what's it called? Restoration frames? Oh, I don't fucking remember. I'm not Evo player, guys. Okay, I'm not going to Evo anytime soon. But there's a lot of stuff like that going, and sure, or hitboxes. But those are kind of whatever.
As soon as that hit hits, here comes a ginormous combo that takes almost their whole life bar, if not their whole life bar. Wash, rinse, repeat. That's the whole game. There's
That's
no
how he plays all
variety
his
to the
fighting
game.
games.
The entire game is easy mode bullshit. Super Turbo, you got people who are going to be, trying to zone you with fireballs. You're going to have reactionary uppercuts. Like I said, you're going to have good footsies and mid-range moves. You're going to have grapplers. You're going to have fast movers. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about. And that's what I mean about, these games are not at the level that they used to be. How is it that the game from 1993, or whenever Super Turbo was actually released, at a tournament level is actually a better game than a game in 2017? 5 years, 30 years later, they can't make a game on that level. It's a laughing stock.
Because
there you go.
Street Fighter 2 is boring. It's boring now.
The sad fact is that fighting games have become so dumbed down so that everyone can play them at a competitive level that the competitive level is shit. It's like preschool.
Then play Blaze Blue. Play Guilty Gear. Play even Skullgirls. Play those games if you want a competitive game.
Fighter. For dummies. It's what it is. It's fighting game for dummies. I don't know anything about footsies. I don't know anything about spacing. I don't even know anything about strategy. All I know is I got to hit you once with a mix-up that's either going to hit high-low so you don't know how to block, or a random crossover that you don't know how to block, and then immediately I'm just going to do an insane combo for ridiculous damage.
But remember, he wants Dragon Ball Z,
stupid.
the fighting
game,
to be dumbed down.
That's a completely different genre of game.
He wants that to be dumbed down.
What fighting games into is this washed-up, easy mode bullshit for scrubs, which are another word for newbies, people who aren't good.
2017. People don't know the definition of scrubs. Okay.
And that's sad, and that's really what they all are.
That's sad.
And I challenge you to find a game of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that isn't what I just described. That's the whole game. There's nothing else to it. That's literally the whole goal of the game. And if you ask a Super Turbo player, what's your goal in this match? They're gonna say, well, it depends highly on who I'm fighting, what character I'm facing, the spacing and everything. You ask the guy on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I'm just gonna get a hit into a giant combo.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure that happens.
There you go. So there you go. Yeah, what makes a good game? A good game has to be based around complex gameplay, variety of gameplay, a game that actually, if you want to be good at it, you have to put in time, effort, and not just learn everything within 2 days because the game is so fucking simple. And you might say, well, we need simple fighters. Okay, fine. Make simple fighters. MVC Infinite can be your simple fighter. But then don't release Street Fighter V and also make it simple. And then release the next fighting game and also make it simple. That's the problem, is that these games are now all...
If Street Fighter V is so simple, why does he lose all his matches? Why does he suck at the game if it's so simple?
All simple. Every game Capcom makes is simple. And that's not what we want. We want fun games with complex mechanics, layers of diversity, layers of variety that we can learn over time.
So people can't have fun with Street Fighter V. I have fun with that game. As angry as I get when I play it, I have fun with that game. I enjoy playing as Menat, even though that character always kind of gets under my skin because her super is the same input as sending her orb out and calling it back in. So I get really annoyed when I'm trying to do that and I end up doing the super. It's not really the game's fault. I can't blame the game for that. It's really me. But the only thing I could blame the game, would be having 3 inputs that are the exact same.
Make a game have longevity. Now you've seen everything the second day the fucking game's out because there's nothing in it. And that's the problem with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. All right. Next question is from Dean Jones.
Dean Jones! Okay. This one is, could I be a gaming journalist, run my own gaming website with all the experience I have with video games? Thoughts on IGN giving Mario Odyssey a 10. Oh my god, here we go with that. For me personally, I did major in journalism in college for a year, and then I kind of switched majors. I kind of regretted that, but I wish I stuck with journalism. But I feel like I could run a gaming journalist thing, kinda, but I like doing my own thing, so I don't know. I can't say. And my opinion on IGN giving Mario Odyssey a 10, it's tricky because I understand the idea that inherently you can't give a game a perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect game. You can't expect a game to be flawless, and I get that. I understand where they're coming from with that because you can't make a perfect game. So the more I was thinking about it, because originally I was like, no, you can't give everything a 10, And I was thinking about, like, you know what? I think, you know, there is a point where you could give a game a 10. I think ultimately, if you're gonna give a game a 10, you have to really sell that 10. You really have to. It has to be. You know, talking about the experience of the game, like the experience has to stand out as a perfect experience, or whatever. You can't just throw out a 10. Like, you really have to make the case for it. If you're gonna throw a 10 out, you really have to make the case for that. I think it being a perfect game, or, you know, being flawless, is kind of not possible anymore. So that's my thoughts on it. I think it's fine for game companies to give games 10s, as long as you read the review. And, you know, if I read the review and I leave the review and I'm like, oh, you know, oh, I really like this, or something, or like, oh, I definitely feel, you know, the perfect 10 out of 10. Like, when I played Persona 5, I'm kind of leaning to giving it a 10, because it has flaws, but the game was so good that I was able to overlook the flaws, and the flaws don't really factor into my experience of my enjoyment of the game. So, there you go.
Actually, hold on a second. Golden Colts just did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you to Golden Colts.
Yeah, Golden Colts, dude.
So thank you both.
Wow.
Okay, now let's continue. Next question.
Wow, dude.
Dean Jones, he asks, Phil, do you think with the experience that you've gained over the years playing and reviewing many types of video games, that you would be qualified enough to get into gaming journalism? I know in the past you've stated you wouldn't want to work for a mainstream gaming news outlet due to the massive amount of he says incredibility. I think he meant to say incredulity, which I believe is the word that means that basically they're not credible. That they basically aren't professional about what they do, and you can't really believe what they say. If you were offered a job or started your own website where you were free to review your own games as you
can't trust them, guys. You can trust me, though.
Competitive gaming and YouTube would suffice over time and money, and you would have spent on getting a degree. Thanks for answering. So basically what Dean is asking, do I think I could do gaming journalism for myself? Could I run my own website where I review games and everything? And the answer is yes. I could. I've played so many games. Of course.
DSP is a man of all trades. He could do anything if he put his mind to it, guys. He's such a special big guy. He can do whatever he wants.
You know, 10 years now. I've been immersed so much in gaming culture for 10 straight years. I've probably played more video games than the vast majority of gaming journalists. I'm probably better at video games than the vast majority of gaming journalists. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Not many people play as many games as I have. And that's okay. They don't do it for a job, so how would you be able to play as many games as I have, right?
Hold on, I want to hear that again.
Here's the thing. Not many people have played as many games as I have. And that's okay. They don't do it for a job, so how would you be able to play as many games as I have, right?
What does that have to do with anything? Like, the amount of games you play is whatever. I mean, people just play the games that they want to play. You don't really have to play every game. Okay.
And I understand that. But I do think that because of the amount of exposure I've had to gaming, that I would have a unique perspective on gaming that a lot of other people don't have. So I'll give you an example how the difference between being a journalist and being a gamer can lead to being a better gaming journalist, all right? Journalists go to school for journalism. They learn how to write. They learn how to present stories. They learn how to do investigative reporting. They learn all this stuff about how to do their jobs, and then they apply it to any field. I'll repeat that. They apply it to any field. There are journalists who are into world news, just politics, pop culture, video games, movies, you know, all that kind of stuff. There are journalists for every single kind of thing on the planet that could be deemed newsworthy.
Does he think that all journalists do is investigative journalism? That's not really all they do. Journalism could be like, oh, you know, reviewing movies, that kind of shit. You don't really need to be an investigative journalist to... Well, okay.
The problem here, all right, is that the journalists aren't necessarily versed in what they're going into as a journalist. So you could be a journalist who goes to school, gets the degree for journalism, and now you're going to you get hired as a gaming journalist for IGN, but you don't know facts about games.
I guess he's also assuming that in 2017, current year, guys, that gamers don't go to school for journalism. Now that gaming journalism kind of exists, gamers are now go to college, and if they want to be a journalist, they major in journalism, and then they start writing about video games. He's just kind of blanket stating that all journalists are not gamers, which is kind of dumb. It's kind of like saying all YouTubers are homeless, entitled babies. That's not necessarily the case for all YouTubers. Or it's like, oh, everyone that uses Patreon just begs for money, and they don't expect to do any work for the money. That might be true for some Patreon users, but not all. See, you can't really make the general statements and expect for them to last. And this mentality that he has is kind of dated, to be honest.
So you go to play a game to review it, and you're an idiot, and you can't even play it, so now you look like a moron. And it's like, well, that's the thing. When you're a journalist, it's not just the degree that makes you a good journalist. It's also having experience in whatever field you're going into. And that's the problem we're seeing with gaming journalism is a lot of these game.
How do you get experience in gaming, guys? Maybe play games. Like, that's the other thing, is that these gaming journalists probably want to be gaming journalists so that they could play games and get experience. And that's a good facial expression. I'm gonna save that too.
Gaming journalists aren't actually versed in gaming.
How do you know?
A perfect example. I'm not going to name his name, but the guy everyone.
Oh, I wonder what example he's gonna make. I wonder.
Knows him now, the infamous guy who works for, I even forget the website it was. He's well known. He was one of the head guys of this gaming journalism department for years. He's been in charge. He basically is kind of the guy who checks everyone else's work. He did an amazing, everyone still references this guy, the groundbreaking article that he wrote during the Xbox 360 era, when all the 360s were red-ringing. He did this investigative journalism report in order to find out what was going on, and he broke the story, and everyone still references him as the guy who found out the deal behind the red.
Why don't you just name him? I don't know who you're talking about. You're just
ring fiasco with the Xbox 360.
I feel like he's making this example up.
So he does great journalism work, okay? Then recently he was over at Gamescom, which is the European big event. Like, it's like the European E3 basically, okay? He's over there, and this was before Cuphead released, and it's on the floor.
I really doubt that guy. Hold on. Now I want to know. Who broke the news about the Red Ring of Death? I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know. I don't know, man. I wish you would give us a name. Guy who had trouble in Cuphead. Trouble in Cuphead. Why not? What is the guy's name? Dean. Dean's shameful. Yeah, Takahashi. Ah, okay, Takahashi. This is a weird, Red Ring of Death. Let's see with it. Detailed history of the Red Ring of Death. Dean Takahashi has penned an in-depth analysis of the Red Ring. Oh, he did. Wow, okay. See how much research I had to do? He can't just name the fucking guy and be like, oh, it's this guy's name.
For people to play. He goes to play the tutorial. He can't even beat the tutorial because he's so dumb he can't even read the on-screen instructions to figure out how to play the game. Then apparently he tried to play the first few stages and he failed miserably. He couldn't even beat like the first two opening stages of the game.
But be nice to DSP guys.
And he recorded this as a, you know, he thought, oh man, this video is like pretty much unusable. But I'll put it on the internet anyway, just for giggles. Maybe people will get a laugh out of it. To his chagrin and his dismay, it didn't. What happened is he became the laughing stock of the internet. People saying, so let me get this straight. This guy is the head of a gaming journalism department of an online publication. This guy got paid to fly for free. You know, he didn't pay for it. Paid by his work to go to Gamescom and get immersed in all these games. This is something that gamers worldwide would love. He gets in, and this is the fucking guy. He can't even do the tutorial of a fucking new game. And this is the head of a gaming journalism department. And of course, what ended up...
The thing is that, about that, I think it's kind of dumb to shit on a guy for how he played a game. Like, yeah, okay, he sucks at Cuphead. Like, who fucking cares? Like, you could say that, okay, well, you know, his... If you're trying to look for his opinion on gaming difficulty, sure, Takahashi is not the kind of guy you would, take his opinion seriously at this point, but, you know, he can still review games because reviews, at the end of the day, are a person's opinion. Like, he gets, like, there's nothing wrong with Takahashi saying, oh, Cuphead's a hard game. It could be hard for a lot of people. I suck at the game. I played it on my friend's Xbox. I suck at the game. You know, I could say, oh, that game's really hard for me. You know, I'm having trouble, but it's fun though. I don't mind the challenge. I want to, you know, persevere. That's the point. I think the bigger issue is when people try to make the case that games are not inclusive enough or whatever when they're hard. That's kind of dumb because the whole point of a game is to overcome a challenge. But you know, it's fine for that guy to feel like, oh, this game's too hard or whatever.
Blew up into a story about why are gaming journalists so bad at games? Are they really not good at their jobs because they're not good at the game?
But using Takahashi as like the golden poster boy of gaming journalism is kind of dumb as well, because I really don't believe that every gaming journalist is as bad as video games as Takahashi. I mean, that's kind of a dumb stereotype to make. Oh, well, Takahashi sucked at Cuphead. That must be every gaming journalist. Okay.
That they're playing and reviewing, etc.
Take a sip. Chew the water.
Well, time to ban an idiot. By the way, please, mods, I see there are mods here. Please keep your eyes open for trolling. Someone just trolled and I banned them. All right.
Mods, come back!
Yeah. And
open
the big
your eyes.
The big comedy story of like that week was that the head of a gaming journalism department sucks at video games. All right. Now, in reality, is the guy awful at every video game? Probably not. He probably has maybe a forte. Maybe over the years there's a certain style of game that he likes. He even openly admits, I don't play this kind of side-scrolling action game. It's not my thing. I was just messing around with it, you know, and I recorded it because I wanted to give some like first look footage for our publication, and it just so happens that I did terribly at it. So it's kind of like the perfect storm of shit in his lap because of what happened. But at the same time, I have to agree with a lot of the critics out there who are saying gaming journalism is a joke. Because if you look at, I'm going to call them out, IGN. I have to, because I've seen this so many times from...
Calls out IGN, but not the guy who failed at Cuphead. And his best friend, Venomous Fat Man, works for IGN, so... I hope Venomous Fat Man's okay with this.
IGN, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Here's a game review. Okay? The game, in fact, you know what? I'm going to tie this question into another question coming up because it directly relates. In fact, here we go. I'm going to read this next question.
Here we go, guys. Get ready.
Barack
Get
Obama.
hyped.
Here's the question.
Barack Obama.
Phil, why did IGN just give Super Mario Odyssey a perfect 10 out of 10 in the review? They explicitly said there's several complaints about the game, including both the cameras and the controls, and they included it in a list of things they listed as the bad things about the game.
Probably because the overall experience of the game is a flawless experience to them. They probably enjoy the game so much that they don't mind. They can overlook those flaws, which makes sense. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that DSP doesn't have a point, because I do see where he's coming from with saying like you can't give a game a 10 if it has flaws. I can get that, but you know, times change and things change.
Right before the review score was shown, isn't a 10 supposed to be flawless? So here we go. IGN makes a review. Super Mario Odyssey, 10 out of 10, which means you can't possibly score it higher. One of the best games of the year, yet they have a laundry list of problems for the game that they actually cite in the review, including camera and control issues. Okay? How is that responsible gaming journalism?
But that's you do the same fucking shit. The whole time when he was playing Last Guardian, he sounded like he hated the fucking game. Oh well, look at this game, it's garbage, blah blah blah. Like I don't remember the review very well. I think I did an endure of it somewhere on my channel. You can look for it, and he gave it a 7 out of 10 or 7.5. You know what? We're gonna go on another fucking field trip, guys. I know, guys. Field trips are exciting. I'm excited. Are you excited? D Davidson, the channel I'm looking for right here. Let's see. Go to videos. Oh, it's an old one though, so we might have to go deep in this. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it.
All factors considered, the massive amount of shortcomings, the fact the game is underwhelming, the fact the game is too short with no replayability, it's too easy, graphics that don't perform well, and the fact that the game just feels like it's 9 years too late, I've got to give The Last Guardian a 7 out of 10.
A 7 out of 10. Oh, there's no replay value, it's this and that. 7 out of 10, dude. That is like a really good review for a game that has all of that lacking information in it. Oh man, nice. And that's the thing. He dude, I don't know if D. Davidson did this out of response from what I said. I said this when I saw that review. I felt that DSP just looks at reviews when he does his own, and he picks the safest score that he kind of agrees with, and he puts it in his own reviews. I don't think he genuinely agrees with the score he gives it.
The subject of today's review is The Last Guardian. In this review, I'm going to outline the pros and cons. I'm going to let you know exactly what I think about this game after such a long development cycle. So stay tuned, and here we go. On the original PS4, which I played it on, sadly this game has tons of frame rate issues. Because honestly, I feel my experience was greatly hampered and hindered by the incredibly low frame rate in a lot of places in the game. This game is begging for a modern control scheme. Why couldn't they simply put a little targeting thing out there so that you could say, go right there? I don't know what they were thinking with this. Again, I think maybe it has to do with this incredibly long development cycle that they had, and I really think that it could have been done better. It does need to be said that the actual plot of The Last Guardian is lacking significantly. I played the game for 3.5 hours and only saw one actual snippet of any kind of backstory of what happened with these two, and it really takes almost 6 to 7 hours to even try to get any kind of an inkling of what the hell is going on in this game. But the last hour of The Last Guardian has most of the story reveal in it, and I'm sorry, but in this modern era, you shouldn't be expected to play 7 to 10 hours of gameplay before you get any kind of an idea of what the hell is going on in a video. Give you enough concrete story, and it performs graphically inferiorly on the PlayStation 4 original console. 7 out of 10. The gameplay,
7 out of
it's
10.
incredibly dumbed down. No longer do you have to worry about actively dodging the zombies at all. Frank will just walk through them as if they're not there, pushing the mobs with his shoulders, and actively just being able to basically run through entire streets full of them without too much effort. You can swing and kill hundreds of zombies with these weapons before they even start to wear down and give you any kind of a risk of breaking. So in that regard, there really doesn't feel like there's any kind of a survival aspect to this game at all. All of those major things that were kind of iconic with the Dead Rising series are really missing. The element of horror, the element of risk, it's not really a factor because you really don't have much of a chance.
But okay, you get my point. You get my point, guys. I don't think we need to watch the entire video, but that's an awesome video.
The answer, it's not. It's not. You can't be a responsible
of course,
journalist
he's
and just
responsible,
say 10. Oh, by the way, here's all the stuff that could be improved. But it's rated the best possible. You can't. That means you're an irresponsible gaming journalist. Now, here's the problem. That's not just one person, okay? That was the person who wrote the review, all right? was irresponsible. That review went through the hands of an editor. There's an editor at IGN, and their job is to read all the stuff that's submitted before it goes live in public. So that editor read it and said they listed all these flaws, and they're giving it a perfect score, and they published it like that. So it's multiple people at a fucking gaming journalism publication that don't understand journalism. Because if you're going to rate something 10, it has to be perfect. And if there's a flaw, the game's not perfect. All right? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's an exception to a rule. If a publication has never given a 10 out of 10 score before, and they, for some reason...
Get this exception. This makes no fucking sense. It's like, oh, well, look, you need to... He's basically... They
love the game so much that they even say, they state explicitly in the review, despite its flaws, this game is the best game I've ever played, 10 out of 10. That's an exception to the rule I'll give a thumbs up to. But the problem with IGN and a lot of these gaming media outlets, they don't do that. All they literally do is plaster a fucking number on their review irresponsibly.
Kind of like KO Gaming over here.
Without proper justification, without proper explanation.
How do you know?
And then
how do you know? Did you read the review for Mario Odyssey on IGN? How do you know? How do you know that?
Score goes into the Metacritic score, and now all the scores get skewed. All right, so because IGN is irresponsible, and they gave a game that's not perfect a perfect score. Right? Now that game looks like it's better than it is. While maybe there's another gaming journalist who's responsible and gave the game an 8.75 because it's a great Mario game, but it has some flaws. You know what I mean? And this is the problem.
Wow, people with different opinions? Oh my god, how can we live in a world where people can post their opinions that are all different?
No, there's no baseline for quality in gaming journalism, okay?
There is a baseline. It's a personal baseline. You decide what news article do you go to get your gaming news.
What would have stopped that guy who went to Gamescom and sucked at Cuphead? So going home and saying, Cuphead sucks, man. That game's too tough. And you know, it's ridiculous that the game's that hard. And you know what? He did. I'm not even kidding you. He went home and he wrote an article about the ludicrousness of how people blew up about him posting this video. And then in his article, he used it as an opportunity to propagate that games should be easier. You couldn't pass the tutorial. It wasn't...
That's just his opinion. I think people take that shit too seriously, but people can complain and say that games are too hard. I want easier games. Which is why I kind of advocate for difficulty settings. Like, I feel like that games should give people options on how they want to play their game. And Cuphead has an easy mode for people who don't want to play it on normal, which is fine. I think it's fine to have difficulty settings. I don't like games that kind of force you to go on one difficulty, because with that is that it'll either be too easy for people and they're going to be bored, or it's going to be too hard and people are going to stop playing. If they have difficulty settings, it pleases everyone. Just give us difficulty settings.
That the game was hard, it's that you're an idiot. You literally don't have enough exposure to games to be in charge of a gaming department. I mean, you proved it. You don't even understand the basics of a certain major genre of games. How can you be in charge of a gaming department of journalism? And that's the problem. What it seems to me is that people in gaming journalism aren't necessarily the people massively exposed to games. They're just people who have a degree in journalism on
How do you
their wall.
know?
So because I went to college for journalism, I can now cover video games.
How do you know?
And I'm sorry, but the excuse of, oh, well, it's just a review, therefore it could say whatever it wants because it's just an opinion, doesn't fly when you're getting paid.
Who's the guy that always says, it's just my opinion? This guy always hides behind that when it benefits him. Get the fuck out of here.
Because when you're getting paid to do it,
okay,
and your review is going to show up on Metacritic, Phil, and it's going to be plastered and splattered all over the internet.
Plastered and splattered.
An honorable responsibility to do due diligence.
It's an honorable responsibility to write a fucking game review. It's just a fucking game review. It's not like you're covering some political cover-up conspiracy theory or whatever. It's... Oh, okay.
And to put out something of quality. And when IGN is games 10 out of 10, when they have a laundry list of things that's wrong with the game, that just proves that they are laughable. They are not a source that you can trust for game reviews because they don't take it seriously. And that's the bottom line. It's not your game review should not be 100% subjective. It shouldn't be, oh, well, I played Mario Odyssey and it had a lot of flaws, but I love the game. It's my favorite game of the year, 10 out of 10. Wrong. You made the review incorrectly. You needed to weigh and balance the positives and the negatives objectively before
he always talks about reviews and Ask the King. Like he answered this already.
Interjected your subjective, oh, it's my favorite game of the year, in order to give it a proper review score. If you didn't do that, you did not make a responsible game review, and basically you shouldn't get paid. But that's the problem. These people get fucking getting paid. It's like, what the fuck? And no one holds.
Okay. So if we're gonna start holding reviewers accountable to, okay, if you can't write a good review, then you shouldn't get paid. Then we should hold Let's Players accountable. Like if they can't play a game perfectly or as good as like a pro level player, they shouldn't get paid at that point. So Phil, in order for you to get paid, you should not suck as hard. You should not get. You should be able to get up to 10 game overs in Dark Souls 4, and if you get over that, you cannot get paid. Like, okay, Phil, whatever.
Holds them to task because for some reason we still have in 2017 this weird mentality that video games are for kids. Ladies and gentlemen, video games are the biggest entertainment industry.
They are still for kids. Video games are accessible. It's an accessible platform. It's for everyone.
On planet Earth, all right? They make more money than everything, okay?
Yeah, because of kids. Kids are one of the people who buy it. So if you add the kids demographic with the adult demographic and the teenage demographic, you get a bigger audience. Movies, get very splintered because some movies are not for everyone. Video games are for everyone.
More adults play video games than children. It's proven. It's true. More adults buy and play video games than children. Therefore, no, games aren't for kids. No, you don't get to just say whatever the fuck you want when you're supposed to be writing a responsible game review. You have to be professional like everyone else. And this is what I hate about the mainstream gaming media.
I hate it because I'm a part of it.
Here's the deal. If I were to write a professional game review, if all I did was do gaming journalism, and I had a website for it, if I wrote a review, or I did a video review, would it be as good, as well-spoken, as shiny and spiffy as someone who works for a professional media outlet? No, because I don't have a degree in journalism.
But you've done fucking game reviews before. Okay.
I don't have a degree in video editing. I don't have all this knowledge, which is what they went to
Then
school.
why did you make a channel for editing if you don't have the know-how for editing? And a lot of people like self-learn this shit, by the way. A lot of people self-learn editing over time. Yeah, okay, Phil.
Okay? But I could damn well tell you that I would be able to rate properly a game a lot more accurately than some of these people who they only play a certain amount of games a year. They only get exposed to a certain amount in every genre every year. Yeah, look at me playing Cuphead, where I did really good at the fucking game, despite the fact that there's other games that I may not be as good at. I could rate Cuphead a lot better than that guy from that fucking gaming.
Why would he be able to rate Cuphead better if you suck at other games? How is that okay? You said that Takahashi can't rate any other games because he sucks at Cuphead, but you can rate any other game because you're good at Cuphead but suck at other games? That makes no fucking sense. Very selective right there.
Media outlet, definitely.
But okay.
So yes, I do think that if I were to start it up, mine would probably be better than a lot of other people's. Of course.
Whatever.
The thing is, in order for me to do that, it would mean that I have to stop playing as many games as I do, which would be counterproductive. See what I mean? I'm the guy who can give you the best reviews, but the only reason is because I'm constantly playing games, which means I don't have time to do high-quality gaming journalism reviews. So it's kind of like a vicious circle.
No one in DSP's community wants him to play every game. If you go to his forums, there are people who are saying, Phil, just focus on the games you have right now. Just play those games, and that's what he should do. The day one games he does gets the same amount of views as any other playthrough that's ongoing. It makes really no fucking sense for him to to play every game anymore.
Qualified is because I have the free time to play as many
me.
games as I do, but because I play as many games as I do, I don't have the free time to make the qualified review.
He plays for 4 hours.
There you go. All right. Shout out to Golden
4
Colts who
hours.
did a 100-bit cheer. Shout out to Dooley who gave me a $5 tip. Thank you, Dooley. And shout out to Concrete Casket who just did a 100-bit cheer. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done with forum questions. In fact, we only have one forum question left, and then we can get to the Twitter questions, and we can wrap this up, okay? So, forum question from Ratchafan. Ratchafan says, "It is no secret that you've seen good growth on Twitch with lots of people cheering, subbing, and tipping. If this keeps up for the foreseeable future, do you think you will get out of the hole that you're currently in financially?"
Oh fuck! What was the question? I don't think I'd be able to answer it because I'm not in the same position he is. With the growth on Twitch keeping up, will it get me out of financial trouble? Oh, I can't answer that because I'm not in financial trouble just yet. Oops.
I can't even answer. And
I can't answer because if I answer, then that means that I won't be able to beg for money, guys. This Ask the King is very interesting. In the second part, he did like this, and he did it again. He really wants to shake those tits, dude.
The reason I can't answer, let me tell you, first of all, it helps. The fact that people on Twitch have been so generous to me this year, just on this stream. Look at people are supporting and being awesome. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. But every time I open my mouth, every single time, right? And I say, oh, things are getting better, some other bullshit happens. False copyright strike. YouTube ad revenue plummets. YouTube demonetizes videos, etc., etc., etc. And it just keeps happening. It's so, every time I get to the point, yes, things are good, it's like, oh, we gotta fuck with Phil's shit now. Here it comes, get the stick and poke it, right? And then something goes wrong. And right now, I'll be honest with everyone, I'm in the middle, right now.
In the middle
of
how can I say this?
Of a situation, a personal situation. I know it's been a month now. I still haven't been able to talk to anyone about it. After a month, I don't even have any kind of an update, positive or negative. It sucks. I want to get information so I could share information about this thing going on behind the scenes with you guys, and I don't have anything right now, all right?
Could it be because it's made up? Like, but remember, guys, he's not asking for money about this situation. Remember when he said that? Remember when he said, oh, it has nothing to do with money and this and that? Really weird how it's getting more and more associated with money. Weird.
Basically, I'm in a situation where there's a possibility that things could go really bad for me. To the point where it's so bad, I don't even think there's an out besides maybe selling this house and either moving into a smaller place here in Washington State or moving all the way back to Connecticut, which is awful. It would negatively affect the business by far because having to sell the house and move would take tons of time away from being able to do streaming.
Again, I really doubt this situation is as bad as he's saying. Like, I'm not saying that it's not a bad situation he's in, but the reason why I'm really doubting it is that if it's such a big issue that he could lose the house and all that, wouldn't he fucking get a job? Like, I know Phil's an idiot, but I don't think he's that fucking dumb. I don't think he's that dumb that he would not try to get a job. I don't know. It's really hard to take seriously sometimes.
I wouldn't have my office anymore. It would be a big downgrade in quality.
And you'd think that he would stop buying new games then, but he gets so much money. The guy from Afghanistan, whoever that guy is, keeps giving him like hundreds of dollars. So I don't even think he's in a bad spot. He's just fucking trying to milk his fans.
East Coast is worse. The weather on the East Coast is worse. Everything's worse.
I guarantee come February, around that time, he's gonna be like, I'm fine, guys. I'm good. I'm all good. Because he also said recently that he might get an update on the thing by the end of this year. And if that's true, then he's kind of going through the same shit I said earlier, that every year he has to make a begging drama situation so that people give him money. So he's gonna start doing all this stuff to cry and beg for money for this season of the hardcore gaming season, And then February comes and he's gonna be like, oh, I'm good, guys, I'm good now, and he might do some small begging. So he's basically using begging to get money.
Be going 10 steps back from where I've gotten. Okay, really, seriously.
Okay, seriously.
And I don't have an update for you. And by God, I hope I do soon. But basically, I've been trying to get updates for a month, and it's still not possible. So at this point, I don't even know what's going to happen. Let me tell you this. People ask me this all the time. Phil, how can we help? Because you can't even tell us what's going on. How can we help? The bottom line is this.
How can we help? Let's find out.
The stuff you guys are doing is tremendous. By coming to the streams, participating in the ways that you have, watching the
I thought you didn't need money. Now
videos on YouTube, those things are all positive things. You know, being positive. I've noticed this year overwhelmingly, people are more positive about me now that I've had this change and I'm more interactive on streams, everything.
Yeah, that's why you ban people, right? Oh, yeah, and War Dog, that was a positive experience.
More positivity is good versus a lot of the times it used to be negative, 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 and now I'm seeing way more positivity, okay? That's a good thing.
I wonder if it has anything to do with him turning off comments on his YouTube channel, on his gaming channel. I wonder if it has to do with his mods banning people. I mean, he literally just said, oh, people are trolling, mods get him. So.
And all that being said, just stick at it, you know? Keep being who you are and watching this stuff and being supported. If you win the lotto and you want to help someone out, contact me and we'll talk. But no, I'm not serious about that. If someone wins the lotto, the last thing they're going to do is try to help me with my situation. I know. But yeah, like, I don't know. I wish I could answer your question, Raptor fan. And the thing is, things were looking positive and good this year. I was like, wow, things are on the up and up. If Twitch stays the way it is and, you know, YouTube can stay at a constant level, then things will be better for me. And then something else happened behind the scenes that I can't tell you about. And that's what I mean. It's like thing after thing. It never ends.
Never ends.
It seriously never ends.
It's the drama that never ends. It goes
to the
on
point where it's so
on,
frustrating. It just gets frustrating because I know you guys and gals support me, and I know you want to see me keep doing this. You don't want to see me lose my house. You don't want to see me have to move back to Connecticut. You don't want to have weeks and months where I can't even stream because of another fucking move. And then I get there, and then things are shitty with the weather, and internet's constantly fucking up. And I know you don't want that. I don't want that. But, you know, life has not been kind to me recently. This year in particular was not a good year. Let's say it that way. Streaming-wise, been great. You know, everything with YouTube and everything, and streaming has been great. But other personal shit going on behind the scenes has not been very kind to me. So,
okay,
we'll see what happens. Maybe if I get more information at some point, I'll let you guys know.
Answer the question.
Then we can move on from that. But from
now, by the end of the year.
Answer, okay. Shout out to Concrete Casket who subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you, Concrete Casket. One final question from the forums, and then just a few Twitter questions. The final question from the forums is from BWT56. He says, Phil.
BWT? That guy sounds familiar, but okay. The question is, advice for someone moving out and living alone. Moderation on food. Cook your own shit. Budget your money. There you go.
I'm 18 years old, and I'm going to be moving out on my own to start at Seth Rollins Wrestling School in about a year. Do you have any advice on living on your own for the first time? Yes, I do. A few things, actually.
I don't know if I should listen to this.
Number one, lists. Lists are your friend. When you move out, and you're on your own, there's going to be several lists of things you need to keep track of, right? Cleaning the house.
No, fuck, I don't want to listen to this answer. I don't. It sounds really fucking boring to me. They're gonna be like cleaning the house, cooking, paying the bills.
So you gotta have those kind of protections in place. All right. So before we get to the Twitter questions to end the show, I want to do some shout outs to those who were basically big patrons from the last 2 months, the months of August and September. People who basically pledged $10 or more to my Patreon. It's very appreciated that you guys did. Here you go. So thank you to the following people.
Oh, motherfucker. I'm not doing shout-outs. Wow, Wow. I got tricked.
The final three questions.
Alright. The moments in life I was hurt the most. Oh, this will be a good one. I wonder, guys. I think he got hurt when he stubbed his toe, dude.
Questions, ladies and gents, all from Twitter. First, from Yak Almighty. He asked, what was the moment in life that you were hurt the most? Honestly, this will be a sad answer, but, you know, it'll be an honest answer, all right? I'll be honest. I'll dish it out for you. There were 2 times in my life that I was hurt the most, all right?
2.
The first was when I mean, you know, I hate to say it, betrayed by my longtime, who I thought were my friends, John Rambo and Howard, who over the years, you know, I did many things with. I hung out with them as well as made video content for YouTube with them, went to tournaments with them, traveled to conventions with them, and not once ever, I'm serious, during that period of time, except for one exception, where John Rambo actually had issue with one thing that I said, and we talked about it like men, and we hashed it out, and we agreed it was in the past. Not once did they ever say they had issue with me, that I did something wrong, that I was a bad friend.
But, like, he did not respond, he did not call them, he did not talk to them, he did not do any of that. So how was he supposed to know that they had these issues? Like, part of the time of being a friend is you gotta kind of have to read the room. And you gotta understand, okay, well, these people aren't really talking to me. I should really call them and talk to them. But he couldn't do that. He didn't talk to them once. Like, I'm sorry, but in a friendship, or any relationship for that matter, you can't expect the person to call you out all the time. You're gonna have to kind of try to read people and be like, okay, well, this guy isn't really talking to me anymore. I should really find out what's his issue, or whatever. So it's really Phil's fault that his friends built up this resentment towards him because he didn't really make any attempt to fix the issue.
None of that. Then I move across the country, okay, to Washington, and a year and a half later, after I move across the country, after trying to retain contact with them and not hearing from, in particular, from John Rambo, who really was my closer friend. Howard was more of an acquaintance. He would join us for stuff every once in a while, but he wouldn't necessarily be like a main focal point of stuff that I was doing. It was John I hung out with a lot more. Every week, John would come over to make videos and stuff, and we'd shoot the shit. It was stuff behind the scenes of what we were doing for YouTube. That was, you know, personal stuff that we would talk about. Okay. So a year and a half after I moved across the country, in particular, John Rambo, to make a video out of nowhere, the other thing was, it wasn't like he contacted me and said, Phil, I got a lot of
And this was around the time where every Thanksgiving Ask the King, DSP would always have to say one weird thing about John Rambo. He would always say something like, well, he doesn't talk to me anymore, you know, I don't think he wants to be my friend. I don't know, he said a lot of weird shit that kind of instigated John Rambo to make that video, because that was the one thing he did. John also mentioned in that video that he's talking about.
Shit, grievances against you, and I want to make a video about it. Nothing, not warning, makes a video with him and Howard basically just kind of.
Maybe them not talking to you was the warning.
Blowing up, talking about all these things, negative things that I had done and how I'd been a bad friend to them over the years and stuff that they never addressed with me. Because here's the deal, folks. Honestly, I wouldn't have been hurt at one piece at all if that was stuff they had said to me first, so I was aware of it, and I was at least given an opportunity to fix what I was screwing up, or, you know, to not be doing the things that were annoying them. But the fact that for years I had known these guys, all the stuff I had done with them, right? I mean, it's documented. How many thousands of videos with them did I make, right?
Right.
That they had all this pent-up resentment hidden inside of them that they never stood up and said to my face and even addressed ever. And then, of course, the internet makes me a villain and says, oh, Phil's a horrible person. Here's the proof. Here's a video from his 2 closest friends who say he's a terrible person. But what you got...
Yeah, why would those two be honest? Obviously John Rambo and Howard were lying, right? Okay.
What I understand is, I was never told that I was doing anything wrong. So if you're not...
Maybe if you're not being told, you should really talk to them about it, because maybe, you know, it's an awkward situation, and they're not just gonna come and tell you, like, because you're not gonna act like your friends are fucking babies, and you have to be like, okay, you gotta write it up. You are a terrible person. No, you have to kind of, like, infer that shit. You gotta have to, like, read the room. You gotta understand, maybe they don't feel comfortable addressing you about it because they're afraid of how you're gonna react. I mean, like, this guy has a very weird way of reacting to things, so for all they knew, you know what, honestly, they probably didn't know how he would react to the news. If they told him in person, hey, Phil, I think you're, you know, you should really pay these guys or whatever, they probably would be afraid that Phil's gonna be like, "Fuck you, dude, get out of here."
Told that something is hurting someone, or that someone has issue with you, or they wish that you would do something better, you can't change for the better. And that was the problem that I have with the whole situation, right? Is that I didn't know.
You can't expect them to like hold your hand about every little thing in your life. You have to kind of.
These things were going wrong, and if you don't know, you can't fix it. And so for me, when that video was released, was one of the most hurtful things that ever happened to me in my entire life, because these are guys who, at least I would say Howard, again, not so much I was always close with him, but John, I mean, for years, this is a guy who I had given life advice to. He had given me life advice. We'd helped each other out over the years with personal shit behind the scenes besides the YouTube videos.
Okay.
You know, there were many things that we tried to help each other with over that time frame when we were friends. And
like, he doesn't get that talking about John and Howard, like, you know, throwing slight rocks at them throughout those years before that exposed video was released, that they would eventually get annoyed and start making an exposed video. Like, and that could happen with Leanna, because he has been like kind of shitting on her very, very like lately in every pre-stream. In my last Ask the King, we watched that one pre-stream he did where he was like, "Oh well, Leanna was using all my data. Leanna was doing this. Leanna was doing that." If he keeps like shit-talking Leanna, you know, she might eventually say enough's enough and, you know, do a whole video exposing him. But, you know, she probably won't, because she probably doesn't want to have anything to do with this, which is fine. I think, you know, she can do her own thing. I don't really care about her that much, but, you know, it is what it is.
When, you know, financially, if I could help John in any way, I helped him, and he would help me emotionally with shit and stuff. You know, it was cool. It was like having a really close friend. That's what I thought he was. And then, you know, again, no inkling whatsoever when I moved that there was anything wrong.
No inkling. You read a text from him on camera. He uploaded that to YouTube, and never heard back from John ever since. Didn't think that was weird. No, I mean, no reason to follow up on that. No reason to find out why he stopped responding to your texts. I mean, no way.
And then for a video to just come out of nowhere and completely blindside me, that here's all the things that I've done wrong, and this is why they don't talk to me. It's like, that was incredibly hurtful. That was probably one of the most hurtful things that could ever happen to me in my life, honestly. Because you trust someone the way I trusted them, and for that to happen, and I'll be honest, since then, I don't have any real close friends on purpose.
That is the saddest fucking thing I heard. Like, I'm sure all of us, everyone on this fucking planet, got betrayed by someone who thought they were their friend or whatever. I'm sure that happened to everyone at least once. You still make friends. It's not that big of a fucking deal. I mean, it's a big deal when it happens. Sure, I'm not gonna say that it's not a big deal, but you're not gonna sit there and be like, I can't trust humans again. I'm gonna be you know, a very reclusive guy. I'm gonna stay inside my little bubble and protect myself from people because I can't trust them. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Get over yourself, Phil. I mean, it's not that big of a fucking deal.
Because for me to accept someone in as a close friend and to share personal shit with someone that are gonna do, you know, I'm afraid that someone might do the same thing.
What a baby.
Tell me that I'm a good friend and tell me everything's good and everything, and then all of a sudden, oh, here comes another laundry list of shit, right?
Maybe you should not be a shitty person. Just saying.
Let's see.
Let's see what else I could say.
The other thing, honestly, and this is more personal, I'm not going to get into it, obviously, is my breakup from this year. You know, I was with my ex-girlfriend for 5 years. 5 years is a lot of fucking time. Now, I didn't live with her all that time. We were going out long distance for 2 years, where every month she would come visit me for an extended weekend or whatever on the train. And then when there was opportunity for us to go on longer trips like vacations and stuff, we would do that together. And then finally, we were making a life together out here. We got to move out to Washington, and, you know, this whole house was a project of both of ours. You know, and to see it fall apart the way that it did, really, it was incredibly hurtful. And, you know, that's probably something I'll never get over in a lot of ways.
Does it sound like it was mutual? Does it sound like he broke up with her? I don't know. I don't think that was the case.
Because that was 5 years of my life. You know, 5 years.
I gave you 5 years of my life.
Of my life given to someone, really, when you think about it. And
Okay,
to have
Tom
that fall
Uzo.
apart. Now, there's all kinds of reasons for what happened, and I'm not going to tell you. Because honestly, it's none of your business.
He made a fucking tweet longer about it. When the SOK shit happened, he made a tweet longer saying, well, one of the reasons we broke up was because of the shit that the SOK was doing, dude. And he keeps talking about her. But it's personal. But she used all my data. I still paid for her phone bill. But it's personal. I won't get into it. Get the fuck out. Then don't talk about it. Keep your big fucking mouth shut, then.
I'm not trying to be insulting or being stingy or whatever, but it really is none of anyone's business what
Then
happened
why
between
talk
you
about
and
it?
Why the relationship fell apart.
All he could have said was, oh yeah, my breakup with my ex-girlfriend. And then move on to the next question.
And I'm not going to really share that because
I'm tired. I'm tired of him doing this shit where he has something that's going on behind the scenes and he brags about it. He brags about not telling us. That's so fucking stupid. I have stuff going on behind the scenes. I can't tell you about it, but I've learned my lesson. I can't tell you everything I'm doing behind the scenes, but it's something. Something's going on. I can't tell you about it, but it's something. It's something, guys. I can't tell you about it, but it's something that is gonna change the way you look at life, guys. It's gonna change the way I upload videos, maybe. I can't tell you about it, but it could happen. But I can't tell you about it. Okay, Phil.
Personal shit that you've seen what happened with the personal stuff that we shared over that 5-year period, how it was twisted against us and used to troll us.
Because you fucking publicized it. Maybe not publicize every fucking thing you fucking doing, like the wedding. The wedding that he was doing, he didn't have to talk about it at all. He could have just not said anything. Go to the wedding and then come back and say, oh guys, I came back from my girlfriend's brother's wedding. But no, he couldn't do that. He couldn't do that. He had to tell us months in advance. So, oh my god, what the fuck?
And nasty stuff. I would never reveal the personal shit behind the scenes that happened, that led to us basically breaking
But
up.
instead, he'll tell us that he paid for her phone bill and now she used all his data. Okay.
But it's incredibly hurtful. It is. It's incredibly, incredibly hurtful.
She did allow to be my slave, dude. Unbelievable.
It sucks because I'm always gonna have that emotional scar inside of me of some 5 years. The thing is, too, we documented a lot of the stuff we did together. Look at the videos over the years. Every holiday we put up a Christmas tree together and recorded it. All the vacations we went on. Hell, DSP tries
she uploaded
a running series that started.
You mean she did the Christmas tree
with me solo, and then ended up having her added to it because we lived together, right?
Yeah, she was the tripod dude. Come on.
And now it's solo again. It's sad because you go back to watch DSP Tries It. Oh, look, she's in all of them, right? And it's like, damn, she was a big part of my life. And to have that gone,
huge, tremendous,
just incredibly hurtful. All right.
She did not. Oh my god.
Those are the two things.
She did not have that big of a role in DSP Tries It.
From Get to Bird.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and my answer to that, I don't really have anything in my life that was the most hurtful. Like, I don't know, maybe when my childhood friend kind of stopped hanging out with me was the most hurtful thing, but I don't know. I got over that. It was whatever. It was whatever. Is there any place in the world where I'd like to visit? I would like to visit Amsterdam again. I've been there for like 2 days. I want to go there for a little bit longer.
He asked, is there any place in the world that you'd like to visit or dreamed of going to? This is
I dream of going to Japan.
All right. A recurring question.
We're not going to listen to that because you know what he wants to go. This, again, has been in another fucking Ask the King. We're not doing that. I'm sorry, we're not. You can you can tell me in the comments how much I'm a bad person for skipping the question.
Now, to the final question. Hold on here.
Oh, the question for this one is, will I be playing more Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? I don't own the game, so I can't really say. He's not going to play it because he's a little baby, but it is what it is.
I clicked the wrong thing. What the hell did I just click on my laptop? I clicked on the Microsoft Store. What the fuck? I didn't mean to do that. Close that. I wanted to go back to stream chat. Here's the stream chat. Here it is.
Here it is.
Okay. The final question is from Hero20.
Hero20.
And he asked, are you planning on playing more of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Ladies and gentlemen, if the CEO of Capcom, if Ono, Yoshitaro Ono, whatever the fuck his name is, walked into my office right now with a giant sack of money and said, Phil, if you play Marvel vs. Capcom again, I will give you this, and it will solve all your financial troubles, and it will, you know, put you basically in a situation where you're good for life and you won't ever have stress ever again. Yeah, if you play Marvel vs. Capcom again, I would turn to them, matter-of-factly, honestly, I would stare them right in the eye, and I would say, give me that goddamn bag of money. Yes, I'll play that fucking game. But since that's not gonna happen, no, I'm not planning on playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite ever again. The game fucking sucks, just like MVC3 did. The only sad fact is that MVC3 at least had several months of development before the game became, oh, get one hit, lead to giant combo that ends the whole game. MVC Infinite was that since day one. So the game literally degraded from actual gameplay into crap within 2-3 days. Now everyone does it. The game's complete garbage, and I'll never play it again. Okay.
What a great last question.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much.
What a great last
Ask
question.
The King. I hope you enjoyed this show.
What a way to end the show. Wow. Does it say anything?
I hope you enjoyed this this time. I should mention this before we adjourn. The next episode of Ask the King will be a special holiday episode. The first holiday Ask the King I've ever done. I always usually do Ask the King on Thanksgiving Day.
I should get a Christmas
Not this
Santa
year.
hat.
I'm doing it differently. On Thanksgiving Day this year, I'm going to probably be doing a Hate Live podcast. It's going to be the big Thanksgiving Hate Live, where I'm going to tell you all the things I'm thankful for.
Take a sip. Drink the water.
I will be doing a special Ask the King on the 21st of December. It's a special holiday edition. Everything will be festive. You'll see. So,
you'll see.
That being said, please post up your questions on the forums. They're already on the kingofhate.com forums. There's a thread for it. In addition, if you want to be guaranteed to have your question answered, pledge to my Patreon. Check it out. You'll see there the perk level where you get the guaranteed question answered. And it may be a perfect opportunity if you have Christmas-themed questions here. Ask them. That'll be a great episode, okay?
Great episode.
Ladies and gentlemen,
tremendous
thank
episode.
you very much for watching Ask the King. By the way, shout out to Vera who did a final 10-bit cheer here. I appreciate all of your support during the stream. Thank you very much. I will see you in 2 months for the holiday edition of Ask the King. And I'll see you in a month for the very special Hate Live Thanksgiving edition. Sound good? For Ask the King, I'm Darkside Phil signing off. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Whether you're watching live on stream or on YouTube, I appreciate the viewership. And I will see you next time.
Fucking...
Peace out.
He's stealing my things. I do this, motherfucker. Ack, ack, ack. Alright, everyone, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Finally, it's done. It's done. I don't have to fucking, for now at least. See you guys next time.